Hey everybody, welcome to the Focus Garage. In this video, we're going to be doing a little bit different video than what we're used to here with cars and stuff like that. We're going to be covering motorcycles. And what are we going to be covering about motorcycles?
So Mike and I took our motorcycle class in April or maybe March. It was March.
We were like the first one. It was 34 degrees outside. Yeah. We were in this snowy, rainy parking lot.
We were a trooper. We took it and we passed it. Both of us passed it. And then after that, we were into motorcycles. After that class, we were into motorcycles and we wanted to get one. So Mike went out in a different route than I did, and I'm being the cheap person. I went with a $500 motorcycle, and Mike, being the more reasonable person, went with a $5,000 motorcycle. So we want to show you guys what is the difference between a $500 motorcycle versus $5,000 motorcycle, and what we need to get this $500 motorcycle up to par with this $5,000 motorcycle.
And does a $5,000 motorcycle need stuff? We really don't know. We'll cover it in the video. So we're going to grab the camera and we'll kind of let the respective owners of the bike do a little bit of a walk around and talk about what the bike's like, what their experience has been, and everything like that so far. So I'm going to grab it and we'll show you.
Yeah, let's start with the Harley. Let's go.
Motorcycle is a 2009 Harley-Davidson Sportster, and all the real Harley guys are going to be like, well, the Sportster's not a real bike, and the video is not about that. The video is about what we bought here and what we've got. So I wanted to go with the Sportster because it's powered by a very, very reliable engine, and it's a pretty decent sized engine in a very small frame bike if you're looking at Harleys. I wanted something that was comfortable on to cruise, still got okay gas mileage, and was known to be pretty not high-tech, very easy, to use and work on. So this is what we got. I picked this up for just under $5,000, and at the time of purchase, it only had 2,200 miles. So it was almost a brand new motorcycle when I bought it. So even though it's an '09, it's a little bit older, it was almost brand new. So that's kind of to give you an idea of how you can stretch your money for as far as what you're getting. What this bike needed to be able to ready to ride. Registration, and that's about it. The bike was pretty much ready to go. The only questionable thing is it does still have the original tires on it, so that is at that threshold of where you should probably replace them. Obviously, the miles, they're fine since low miles, there's tons of thread life on them, but it is probably that time for age-wise, if you're looking for safety, of what you'd want to do to replace it to make sure that you're good to go. But again, 2009, it's got a 1200cc engine, and you paid just under $5,000 for it. I've had no issues with it so far. I've changed the oil, obviously put gas in it a bunch of times. I try to ride this whenever the weather's nice, and I've been, dailying it to and from work. I think the bike's almost got 4,500 miles on it already, so definitely racking up the miles on it. It's a very, very comfortable bike to ride. I mean, I've ridden it, 8-9 hours, in a day before, and you don't really get tired. Since there is no front fairing or anything like that, you do get beat up by the wind if you do some highway riding. Anything over 70 miles an hour, you will get to kind of have the wind blasting you a little bit. But again, it's nothing that you can't live with. You just kind of get used to it, gear up properly, and prepare yourself for what's going to be thrown at you there. Andre, you got any questions about the bike or how my owner experience has been with this so far?
No, I think you've done pretty well. One thing would be, how loud is it?
So actually, let's start up for camera here. We're not going to rev it like crazy because we don't want to drive your neighbors crazy. But it does have an exhaust on it, yes. So the bike's bone stock minus an exhaust. So I'll flip that on just so you can hear it here. Oh, and the beauty of this being a modern bike is that it has fuel injection. So watch, it just turns on. So it's pretty loud.
It's very loud.
Yeah, so that's what it sounds like. Definitely don't get tired of noises. I like cars that make noise, and this bike makes noise, and I absolutely am a big fan of that.
Yeah, it sounds like you did some upgrades. Can you talk about the upgrades that you have done?
Yeah, I've done some small upgrades to the motorcycle here. We've got the smoked turn signal covers up front, and then we have the newer style LED headlight there. I really feel like that makes the bike look a whole lot more modern with it. And then, yeah, these I'll actually key on the ignition. So you've got these little LED rings here, and then when you pop on the blinker, you've got the little amber flashing in the middle there. So that's kind of the way those work. And then on the rear of the bike, we've got this. This is called a sissy bar. I use it for luggage and stuff like that. I'll pop a backpack on here and then just bungee cord it down here so that way I can ride with like whatever I want and not have to have a backpack and carry stuff. And I even put little swing arm bags on it for a little bit, and I hated the way those looked, so I took those off. and put this on, because this allows it to be a lot more comfortable for a passenger. But you can also carry stuff and just strap it down to the back of the bike.
So for the argument's sake, how much are you in total with the registration and insurance and all? Well, let's not talk about the insurance. That really varies.
Insurance, actually, it's cheaper than most sport bikes will be. Insurance for this is like $19 a month for full coverage. So if anybody's wondering, cruiser bikes are a lot cheaper to insure than sport bikes. But yeah, for like the title, registration, and then like
Oil
the mods,
change.
Oil change, I'm probably $5,400 into it.
$5,400.
Yeah.
Okay, remember that number, kids. Remember that $5,400.
So let's take a look at the less expensive option. Let me start. So what do we got here?
So we got this $500 Yamaha Virago XV700. I picked this bike up because I wasn't sure if I was into bikes or not, and I didn't want to, put myself into like $5,000 off, like negative $5,000. So I started with a $500 bike. This bike was not running, but it started. I made sure that it started before I purchased it. So if you're buying a non-running bike, go with battery cables or something like that to jump start if it needs battery, or like a starter fluid to get it started up.
What year is this bike?
This is a 1985 Virago. So it has 16,900 miles on it, and I put 600 miles of that. So it wasn't running. It needed carbs. This is a carburetor engine. It needed carburetors cleaned up. It needed new air filter. It needed new tires because tires were original, surprisingly. Very scary. Needed calipers rebuilt, and didn't have mirrors, so I needed to add the mirrors. And it was missing the side cover over here. It was just aesthetic. It doesn't even fit the color of the bike, but it's there. We can fix that later.
It's lit.
It's lit. And I think spark plugs and oil change, and also the neutral switch light was wired to the ground, so I needed to have a neutral switch. So overall, that's what it needed was just a clean up fuel carburetors and the tire to get onto road. But I wanted to do all of that to make sure that I was safe and sound before I got onto road. So tires were somewhere in $160. Rebuilding the carburetor, I did it myself. It was like $15, and rebuilding the calipers were also $20, and then mirrors were like $10. Filter was like $10 as well, and then the switch was $10 for the neutral switch. So I have done all of that, and I now put 600 miles on it. It runs beautifully, and I'm very happy about it. And if you add all that together with the registration, it comes out to be like roughly between $800 and $900. I don't have the exact number, but I'm very happy. We cruise together, Mike and I. I can't keep up with him because his bike is faster than mine, but I can show you guys how it sounds.
Oh, for carbureted's sake, let's see what happens here.
So it has the notorious Virago first gen marble
Starter sound.
Accessory added to it. So
wow, it turned right on.
So I had to tune it up a little bit to make it run better, but after that it was pretty good. Like I said, I rode it for 600 miles. I'm very happy with it. The only thing is that when you're going around 50 miles an hour, it has like really, because there's no fairing, wind hits you really hard. And also I'm like kind of scared to take it out on a highway because I don't know how it will do doing 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, if you're saying the wind's already bad at 50.
So this is a very nice bike to cruise around.
To learn on.
Downtown, yeah. And this bike is the reason that I got into riding bikes. Actually, I have a second bike that I recently purchased because of this bike. And this bike taught me a lot. And when you compare $500, I mean, at the end, this was let's say, just argument's sake, this ended up being total $1,000. And this is a $5,400 bike. I would say it kind of keeps up with it, like you get the same pleasure, you get the same riding experience, and And also,
But do people think you're cool because it's not a Harley?
it's not a Harley as well, and it sounds. And that was stock exhaust, by the way. It
Yeah.
sounds pretty awesome with the stock exhaust, and also it teaches you it teaches you how to deal with the bike, because you can't just start it up in the mornings and get on it, hop on it, and get going. You gotta make sure.
Oh, what a shame that must be.
You gotta make sure the bike is warmed up, and you can't have the fuel on all the time right here, because for some reason, this is like a really old bike, it does not like the
You'll
doesn't
flood it.
have the
Yeah.
OEM saying something in the carburetor that it will flood. So just gotta make sure that you close it up every time. So there's a procedure to get this.
It's finicky.
Enjoying this bike, but it adds up to the character, adds up to the riding experience. And when I'm in this bike, when I'm ripping through the gears, it doesn't matter. I'm having fun as much as he's having fun with his $5,000 bike.
He thinks.
So yeah, I mean, we went cruising for like an entire day, and I think we put 300 miles that day, and I was very comfortable. I did not have any hiccups on the ride, during the ride, and when I got home I was just a little shaking because of the engine is just like right underneath you and just vibrating through, but I was happy. I was so happy, and I thought, I need to get a better bike to commute, because I'm gonna start commuting to work with the bike. I can't commute with this, even though this is a perfectly fine bike. If you're sitting in traffic, air-cooled engine, it gets very hot, and because it gets very hot, it could have fuel is right there, and the ball, it gets very hot too, and it just vapor locks. And I mean, there's some finicky stuff. So
Yeah, just a little bit, right?
just a little bit,
But it's not something you'd want to daily all the time, just
Yeah.
because of that finicky,
Yeah, I mean, I would ride it like really long time. It's like
But it's not something you want to depend on to work every day.
exactly, and that's why we can go back into the garage and show you guys what I got. I got this 2006 SV650. It's a naked sports bike. It's a 650cc, and it makes double the horsepower and double the torque, and it's 200 pounds lighter, and the best part about it is fuel injected. So I can just push the button, wait till the pump stops, pull the clutch, and I'm ready to ride. All I need is helmet, my jacket, my riding pants, and I'm gone. That's it. So I mean, that's all it takes. That's it, and I can commute to work with this bike. The seating position is a little bit harder than the other one. You're not leaning back. You're more leaning forward, so you got some weight on your arms, your hands. But it's still a comfortable commuter bike. I could do 4 hours with that bike and don't even matter. But with this bike, after like 2-3 hours, you're like, I need to take a break. It's like your hands are like really hurting. But like going on a highway speed with this bike is like, because of the fairing coming in, it's so much better, and you don't get the wind deflection that much. I mean, you get the wind deflection, so you don't get the wind. The wind doesn't hit you that much, and you got 11,000 RPM versus 5,000 RPM. Oh, I'm sorry, 7,000 RPM. So this is a much more modern bike, but I'm on this bike because of that bike. Everything started with that bike, and I'm so happy with it. And
There's a chance you might have not ever even bought this if you didn't buy that other bike first.
Exactly, and if I would have just went with your route, and I would never know that I wanted something different, because, or I couldn't even afford it. Like, let's be real about financing right here. Like 5,000, like 1,000 versus 5,500 versus this.
That's literally five times the amount of money spent there.
Yeah.
But what's nice about this is it's an entirely different bike than than that 1985 out there. Like, the seating position is different, the power is different. It's modern.
It's still a wheat twin, so you still get that rumble, but it's a high revving, high compression wheat twin with fuel injection.
And it's liquid cooled.
Yeah, it's liquid cool versus air cool, so that you got that, and so it doesn't get that hot underneath you versus that bike, because when I'm in a traffic, I was in a traffic with that bike for a little bit, and I wanted to get off from the bike and just wait at the light. I'm like, I can't sit on
Got a
it.
little campfire going
Yeah,
underneath
like,
you
I
there.
was like, oh my god, I'm so hot. Like, yeah. But what do you guys think? We can compare these bikes more often. We can do some like ride-arounds, like ride-alongs as well, and show you guys how this $500 bike can keep up with that. Let us know in the comments. So, if you guys have any questions about, I didn't show you guys how to do any of that stuff because it's like more like a specific for that Yamaha, and such an old bike. Because of that, there's like so many videos out there, and there's like user manuals, and there's a lot of helpful people in the community to help you with like any fueling issues or starting issues, anything like that. There's such a beautiful community. I learned so much, and also I didn't know anything about cars before I get into that bike, and I learned how to rebuild and how to tune the car through the community. So I'm very happy for that, and that's the reason. That's the reason. That bike is the reason why I'm riding today, and very happy. Couldn't be happier. What do you think, Mike? What is your thoughts?
What you're saying a little bit, but at the same sense, my whole thing that I wanted to spend a little bit more was for safety as well. I don't really trust the mechanical things of a 1985 motorcycle that's on two wheels, with the brakes and the engine being reliable and everything like that. Now, a lot of people are going to knock us saying that, oh, Harleys are also not known to be the most reliable motorcycles. That's people that keep thinking of like 1970 Harleys that have kitty litter under them in the dealerships because they leak. Modern motorcycles are tons more reliable than older ones, and I kind of wanted to play that. I just wanted to have something that started up and worked, kind of like what you were saying. I didn't want to deal with adjusting the choke or worry about the carbs not working properly or, worrying about fuel leaks and things like that. I wanted a bike that I could start up and ride to work. As it sits, my ride to work is about 30 miles each way, so when I do take that bike to work, it's about a 60-mile round trip. So I didn't trust something that old and that inexpensive to be able to take me 60 miles a day. So I want to spend a little bit more. I did, absolutely, everyone will tell you until they're blue in the face. I bought into the brand. I mean, people buy Harleys not because they're better or more bang for your buck. It's because, just there's something to be said about the overall, just the machine itself, the noises it makes, the way it feels, everything like that. I will not argue. You can buy a less expensive bike with more modern features and more power for less money, but I love the classic look of it, and you can't beat the noises this thing makes. Beat the noises this thing makes? Yeah, something like that. But when you go full throttle and you're ripping through the gears, and you can hear the noise bouncing off a concrete wall next to you or an underpass, exhaust crackles and pops. Oh my God, you can't compare it to anything else. The feeling of control you have on a motorcycle versus driving a car is it's so different. And I strongly encourage everyone, find out what works best for you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the route underwent, and like he said, once he knew riding was for him, he did want to move up to a more expensive bike so he can have less of that finickiness and not having to deal with it. Me, I've wanted a motorcycle for a very, very long time, and yeah, a lot of people might argue that a 1200cc bike isn't the best to start on, but modulate your right hand. It's really not that hard to control yourself with the throttle. Be smart, be safe. Definitely take a motorcycle safety course because you will learn a lot in a short amount of time, and you will learn more from a course like that than you ever will from just got a little BMW M3, yeah, ooh. You will learn more from a course like that than you ever will just riding on your own or riding with other people, So we strongly recommend that, but you can't go wrong with either route. If you want to ride, get out there and try it. See if it's for you, and maybe start with a less expensive bike, and if you really do like it, then buy that bike that you've been wanting for a long time. Me, I'm already used to the power in this. I'm looking at bigger motorcycles with more power. So we'll see what happens with that, but I also really do like Anders motorcycles, so I'm kind of toying with the idea of buying something that's more sporty focused, maybe having a cruiser bike like that, and something that's more kind of short distance, but more sporty and engaging to drive, because that, obviously, it's not a precision machine at all. It's really nice to cruise down some slowly curvy roads, but you don't want to go fast through the corners of that bike.
Yeah, whereas you can't lean that bike at all.
No, I think it has like a 34-degree lean angle, so you're like, meh. So not a lot of lean with that, but like I said, it's still cornered because it's not a gigantic, bagger bike or anything like that. But still, compare and contrast. You're never going to be able to check every single box all at the same time. Buy what fits for you financially, physically, and just, safety-wise.
Yeah, exactly. Buy the bike that you can handle.
Don't let somebody tell you what to buy, Yeah. You'll have people tell you till you're blue in the face sometimes, like, oh, start on a 250 because, dude, people own those for a month, buy something that you feel is going to be right for you.
Other thing is that these motorcycle companies such as Yamaha, Honda, and Suzuki, they have demo days. You can go there and ride whatever you want.
As long as you have a motorcycle license.
As long as you have a motorcycle license, you can show up and ride whatever you want, and it's the best experience you can get. That shows you what kind of bike you like, because
and it's free. You can ride their entire lineup for the most part. Everything from cruising bikes to sport bikes to hybrid, like kind of cruiser tourer bikes.
And baggers as well.
Baggers as well. They're heavy though.
Yeah, they're heavy. But that's the reason that I picked actually the naked bike, because I rode on the naked bike and I like how the seating was, and I also rode an R3 as well, like a Yamaha R3. We
you
did
like
the
that
Yamaha.
too?
Yeah, I like that one too, and I felt like that was a good starting bike too. I think like an R3, even though if you have it for a month, it's a great bike to start because it teaches you the bike manners. It teaches you to handle carefully. Like it's a light bike, so you can control it too. You can't just hop on a cruiser.
1,000cc or whatever.
Also they're heavy. They're like 500,
Yeah.
600 pounds, and now you have like a 600 pounds of balance versus 300-400 pounds.
Yeah.
So I
Strongly
recommend
testing some stuff. Yeah.
and knowing your limits.
Yep.
There's no shame of getting a 250
Yeah.
cc or even a scooter. Like there's no shame on that. Riding is riding, and enjoying is the best way.
In life on two wheels, man, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, convertible, nah.
It's just
Not really, to be
No.
honest. Like, I mean, I was in your Miata. It's just like
This is an entirely different experience, and a target top, T top, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, riding a motorcycle is, if you're interested in it, try it because you'll probably love it.
it definitely tests your skills and teaches you. There's a lot of dumb people out there, and you got to be defensive. You can't just be aggressive and just go for it.
Yeah, that's true. You gonna wrap this one up?
Yeah, thanks for watching, and make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and let us know what you guys think about it.
Do you guys want to see some motorcycle videos?
Yeah.
I know a lot of you out there, sub for some Focus ST content. We still got Focus ST over there. There's definitely been some interest in these motorcycles, so we kind of wanted to make an overview of what we've got and see, what you guys are interested in.
Yeah, kudos to all.
We'll catch you in the next one.